Hey guys, welcome to Young and Proud Educators. We're chilling today with Seko, and we're having another EdTech video where we're just giving you value on the ed tools that you guys can use in your different classes. Today we have one of the best, one of the young and prolific teachers I know.
Oh, stop.
No, I'm being very honest. In Africa, like damn passionate, and she's crazy. Look at her laughing. That's craziness. Yeah. So
Okay, the crazy I agree with.
okay, some things you don't know them until someone tells you.
Fine.
So one of the prolific teachers I know, Seko, and she's always telling me about the latest EdTech tools, and most of the EdTech tools that I come in and talk about, I got them from her.
Really?
The secret is out.
Wow. Well, you're welcome.
So she's the source. She's the source, the provider.
Hey.
Seko, welcome.
All right, thank you so much. It's great to be on here.
Awesome. Seko, introduce yourself. Tell people
Who I am. Okay.
Perfect.
So, my name is Seko. I'm a Ghanaian. I am an MFL teacher. Okay, so MFL because we use the British system, the IGCSE system. So I teach modern foreign languages, primarily French and Spanish at primary school level. So that's key stage 2, right? And yeah, that's basically it. I'm going to be on here talking about, Kamota has me on here sharing about the EdTech tools I use in my lessons.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. So this one, you're going to be talking about the EdTech tools that you use to teach foreign language.
Yeah, foreign languages.
So which ones are those? You're going to talk 3, 4,
Yeah,
5,
I'm
10?
going to be talking about 3, or just 3. I mean, there are a whole lot.
Yeah.
EdTech has really evolved in the last year, obviously because of the pandemic and the fact that schooling and learning has been pushed more so online. And so yeah, there are just so many platforms, and I'm really happy about that. It's great. It's great resources for teachers, and they're constantly improving as well. So I just want to talk about 3 so that I don't take too much of the time. Yeah.
Guys, I thought she was gonna go 5, 10, like go into, but
No.
only 3. So those 3 that you're going to speak about them,
Right.
which are they?
So the 3 I'm going to be talking about are EdPuzzle, Wiser, and Blookit. EdPuzzle, Wiser, and Blookit. I'm picking these 3 in particular because any modern foreign language or foreign language teacher will know that learning is divided into 4 components. Learning languages is divided into 4 components. So speaking, listening, reading, and writing. And obviously, certain aspects of that have been affected by us being online. There are certain things that have become more difficult. For instance, speaking. Doing speaking activities, group speaking activities online, it's very challenging, especially with younger students where you need a bit more control. You can't really leave them in a breakout room. Especially with so if it's English, they're more confident.
Yeah.
But with modern foreign languages, with any language other than their native language, you really need to push them to speak. And sometimes, even in a group setting, physically, it doesn't happen. How much more online where there's no motivation sometimes. So yeah. So I've just been trying to navigate that with a few EdTech tools, and I'm going to talk about them. So the first one
Awesome.
that I normally use as a listening supplement, or just to test, assess, and basically help students with the listening aspect, is EdPuzzle. And what that means is I will normally go on YouTube and look for a particular video that deals with the vocabulary for a particular topic. So for instance, sports. If I want to talk about, for instance, if I'm teaching French, le sport, I will look for a video that's appropriate, and sometimes I will find that the video has already been edited with questions on EdPuzzle, and that really helps because now it doesn't mean I have to do everything from scratch. but I tend to stick to multiple choice questions. So I get the video, then I cut it depending on what aspect I really want to focus on, and then I put in the questions. Now I tend to use multiple choice questions because I have a huge number of students I'm teaching. I'm teaching about 200 students, and so I really cannot go in all the time and answer individual questions. Like, it's very challenging. So I tend to use the automatically marked ones. So those are the multiple choice questions. But I try to make them as challenging as possible. So I make sure that it's still assessing critical thinking. It's still making them think. It's not just, what is this word? And the word is right there in the video, so they can just type it in. But I'm asking them to think beyond what they see and put in an answer. Yes, but it's automatically marked. So once I'm done doing that and I send it to them, I can just get their grades back. And that's another thing. So EdPuzzle automatically links with Google Classroom, which is the LMS that we're using. And so immediately it's done, your grades automatically appear, and that's a huge help. Yeah. So the marking load is reduced with that. So EdPuzzle. Right?
EdPuzzle.
Yeah.
Just going back one step, EdPuzzle. I heard you talking about the cards, the edits. Maybe someone listening like, hey, now I need to know how to cut the video, edit, and is it difficult to cut, edit?
It's not difficult at all.
Yeah.
So what you do is when you get the video, you click on it, you click on the video on the EdPuzzle platform, and you'll see some options on the side. And one of them will be edit, I think copy, so I normally use the edit one first. When I go into edit, it will give me 3 options. It will give me cuts, questions, and voiceovers. So that's another thing. With cutting, you are reducing or increasing the size of the video, or you are taking some parts out. So sometimes you might have a video that has maybe the first 1 minute that's appropriate, and the next is just so not appropriate for the class. Or you have a short time, and so you only need a certain amount. You can only work in a certain amount of time. Or basically a certain amount of the video in the class. So you basically shorten the video so it's shorter and you can use in class, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So can we use EdPuzzle for how do you use it? Use it for your class teaching and learning, or can we then use it for assessment as well?
Okay, great. So I can use it for both.
Sure.
I personally do not like using it live because I want my students to be speaking more in the class when I meet them. So I tend to use it more for assigned work. And I love it because I can track how much of the video they watched, how many questions they've answered, and like I said, automatically marks for me. So I can tell my student, you accessed this 2 minutes ago. You literally did it before you came to class. I can tell, and that's one of the good things about EdPuzzle. I told my kids, EdPuzzle is a snitch. EdPuzzle will tell me everything, so there's no lie. And I like it particular because of right now with the hybrid system, which is where you have some students online and off and basically on campus. I'm using the flipped method, which is where I give them videos. You actually spoke to me about that. Do you remember? Yeah. So I use the flip method where I basically assess or practice with them in class, but I give them the information first, the vocabulary, the words that they need to know outside of class. And EdPuzzle is a great way of me checking and making sure they've actually done it. And then I can, give them a penalty or discipline them depending on, the video. Yes, so I do dock marks. Yes, because you cannot do the work late and expect late, so now we'll give you the same marks as someone who did it, early. Yeah.
So how do you access it? Via your laptop or your mobile?
Oh, I definitely prefer using my laptop. Yeah, just because the screen is bigger, and so when I'm editing, I know I don't have to fumble with. I definitely my phone. I personally do not. In fact, in general, when it comes to these EdTech tools, I don't like using my phone at all. I don't. I prefer the wide working space, big screen of the laptop. Yeah.
Awesome. let's go to number 2.
Okay, so number two is actually, a lot of people don't know about it seems like, but it's really useful. It's called Wiser.
I don't know about it.
Yeah. So Wiser is
I told you guys at the beginning, right? That this lady right here, she is the source.
Oh goodness.
She's the source. Okay.
So Wiser is an interactive worksheet website. And basically it works very similar to Google Forms, but it has added benefits. So obviously with most websites now, there's the basic and then there's a premium. So you definitely have to pay for a few more, like, just to make yourself more comfortable. Yeah, but I tend to use it without it, and I manage okay. But I would advise, just because Wiser might at some point in time see this, I would advise everyone to just go ahead and sign up for the premium, because it has a lot of benefits. But basically how Wiser works, so as I mentioned, there are 4 components to learning languages. There's speaking, listening, there's reading and writing. And Wiser enables me to give assessments on all these 4 components. So I can have questions where I record and my students have to answer. So I can record my question verbally and they have to respond to what they heard, which covers the listening.
Wow.
Then I can have questions where I give them a question and they have to record an answer. So that covers their speaking. And then I can also upload texts and then give questions on it. I can do multiple choice, open text. That covers the reading, and then obviously with the open text it covers the writing. So it actually enables me to use all 4 components. It's very useful. Yeah.
I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, you need to.
Yeah.
It's really, I think it's one of the I don't know, the hidden treasures that I found that I really, really appreciate. And I found it very useful. I was teaching in Spanish, I was teaching special letters. So having them learn the sounds that you normally would not associate with certain letters. For instance, in Spanish, J is pronounced as a H instead of a J, right? Like,
we're learning Spanish
like
now.
jalapenos. Remember jalapenos? Yeah, so it's spelled Jaleapen with an accent, OS. And most people would see it and pronounce it jalapeno, but it's a jalapeno. And I was able to record and ask them to identify the correct spelling for what I had said. And it was a pretty neat way of getting them to speak and also to listen. Yeah. So that's Wiser.
So the recordings, how long can they be? 1 word, full sentence, paragraph, essay?
I haven't even tested the limits, but I think it can be quite long because it doesn't necessarily cut. Yeah, I haven't seen it cut. I think I've seen 1 minute long, 2 minute long, I think maybe even 3 minute long, where the student was just literally thinking whilst they were speaking, right? So for 3 minutes, literally, it was nothing, and then answer, then another 1 minute of silence here, and it didn't cut. So I think quite prolonged responses can be put on as well. Yeah.
Do you use it for assessment or just to getting the guys to speak and to listen?
So in this case, I normally use it for assessment because, like I said, it covers all 4 components, and
it's amazing.
It's a worksheet, so I tend not to use it in class. I have on one occasion, maybe sometimes I want to have a class where I'm not speaking so much and I want them to be working, but I'm there to offer help. Just like you would in a regular class, and you give them a worksheet, you're like, I've given you the work, I'm not going to talk. I've taught you, so do the work, and so I did that in class and it worked pretty well. It was pretty simple. There were matching exercises, you can match, you have fill in the blanks. It works really, really well. There's a huge variety of questions that you can have. And it also works similarly to EdPuzzle and the other EdTech websites where you have access to previously done worksheets. So basically you can take it, edit it, make it your own, and it's made public so you can use it. Plus,
so when you say take, it means you can can access someone's work.
You can access someone's worksheet
just
and
edit it.
copy it and edit it, right?
That's a big win.
Yeah. And I was gonna say also with the premium, it automatically links as well to the LMS, so Google Classroom. So if you are willing to pay extra, you can actually get the grades appearing. Yeah, you have to pay. And it's not so expensive. I think it's about $4 a month, and then collect it like a month. So yeah, you can actually, it automatically links instead of you having to like go in, check the grades, and then go ahead and then just key them into Google
But
Classroom.
that needs you to pay.
Yeah. So I don't pay.
I don't like paying.
Do the manual.
I don't like paying.
I just do it because I mean, if I was gonna pay on every single EdTech website, my salary.
She's using hundreds of them.
Yeah,
Hundreds.
I'm not
So
gonna
like
do
$3,
that.
$3.
Yeah, it adds up. It really does. Yeah.
What I like about this one, it's you being able to collaborate with people that you don't know, like people all over the world.
Yeah.
So it's putting you in that global space.
Yeah.
Let's go to the third one.
Okay, so number 3. This one was a recent discovery in my.
Another recent.
Yeah.
See, and recent, when she says recent, guys, she's talking less than 48 hours. Okay, go ahead.
Less than 48 hours. I've been using Blookit for a while. But anyway, so it's Blookit, and it is amazing. I use this for motivation in my class because my students love it. They love it. The reason they love it is because we're taking ordinary words that we would normally give as flashcards, right? And it's given different formats. So there are different kinds of games they can play. You have the same flashcards, the same vocabulary, and yet you can play a game where they are stealing gold. There's this particular one they love where they get to basically make gold. They answer questions and they choose chefs, and then they get to steal other people's gold. And there's another one where they do a showdown. So it's basically student versus student. It's about how fast you answer. And so you can literally have your whole class answering and then going head to head. And you display it in such a way where it looks like a competition. I did that recently with my class 4s, my year 4s. And they were cheering each other on, like, go, this person. And the other one was like, go, this person.
With the EdTechs, anyone that's more gamified and like get children like really engaged, jumping and want to be in there and play and learn at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's great. The fact that we have things like quizzes, Kahoots, and then now Blookit. I like Blookit because of the variety. So it gives you many different games formats that you can play with one set of vocabulary. Whereas some of the other ones, it's normally either quizzes or like an individual quiz or a team thing or an actual exam thing. It doesn't really give you a lot of variety, but Blookit, lots of variety. And you can still access the students' grades after, so it's not just all fun and games. You can actually check how well they did. Of course, there's a premium as well with that one, but
we don't pay.
We don't use that. We can't. Yes, but yeah, so that's one of the ones I use. My students love it. Like if I come into a lesson, I tell them, you finish this, you're going to be able to do a Blookit. They're like super motivated, super hyped because they want to play the game. Yeah.
So Blookit. Okay. When you use it in your class, what aspects of language are you addressing?
So it's basically vocabulary. It's nothing. Obviously, this one doesn't have them speaking. It's just checking for knowledge. Do you know how to say a dog in French? Do you know how to say this? Like for instance, we are learning things that you find in your pencil case. Do you know how to say pencil? Do you know how to say eraser, sharpener, that kind of thing? Being able to identify it. And of course, if you're creative with your questions, you can find more critical thinking, multiple choice questions that are not just chien is dope. But for instance, you put a sentence there and they have to use the context to figure out what it means. You're looking at the different options. So Obviously, it depends on the level of your students. Don't go giving your students something that they can't handle. If not, the game ends up becoming a headache, and some people just stop doing it. Kids like that, just stop doing it. Yeah.
And that's it. And that's it.
Yeah, that's literally it.
That's literally
My 3.
your 3 that you use in class.
Yeah.
Guys, I need you guys to do us one big favor. If you enjoyed it, you laughed, listening and learning from it, please, at the bottom, you know what to do.
You know what to do.
Tell us that she must come again, and you're gonna come when you say.
I
come.
definitely will come.
Okay. Seiko, thank you so much. For
Oh,
coming.
you're welcome.